We're joined by the head coach of the Nittany Lions on GoPSCSports.com to preview the start of spring practice. Coach, winter period, conditioning period is over. How do you feel like the team came out of the winter conditioning?
I think really good. It's amazing just in general. Year two, just year two, is so much different. They understand the expectation. They have a foundation laid with the offense, defense, and special teams, how we lift, the morning workouts, everything. So rather than just getting through it for the first time experience, they're working with a purpose to get better.
Going off of that, last year you talked about learning everything new the first day of practice. They weren't sure how even practice was going to be structured. How much more prepared do you feel this go around, especially from the player's perspective, bleeding into the start of practice?
I mean, it's not even close. We were talking the other day, Mangiero, our center, you know, he had never before the first practice, he didn't know the cadence. He had never snapped the ball to hack with our cadence. And I know that may seem like a small thing, but you know, getting up and breaking the huddle. We had never broken the huddle. Getting up and breaking the huddle, how we huddle, getting up to the line of scrimmage, being able to communicate information at the line of scrimmage, go through your cadence and snap the ball. We've done those things. So, you know, you look at this time last year where we were to, you know, now we have a situation, we had a bunch of returning stars, a bunch of guys who've played before. In all three phases, it's not even close.
What do you like about this group, especially the older guys, in terms of how they approach winter conditioning from a leadership perspective?
I think more than anything, they know us. We know them now. We've got a much better understanding of the university, the history, the traditions, the people, most importantly, our players. And I think they're comfortable with us as well. So I think it goes both ways. I think the guys have stepped up. They're working really hard. They know we did some nice things last year. It was a start, but it's not where we want to be. And I think that's the biggest thing, like I mentioned before. We're working with a purpose now. Instead of the morning workouts, them just getting through it, it's working to get better at a specific skill, or whether it's mental toughness or physical toughness.
Coach Galt, a couple weeks ago, talked about just the general progress that the guys had made in the weight room from last year to this year. How exciting is that for you as a coach, knowing how much stronger, faster, jumping higher that the individuals have gotten collectively for the team heading into spring ball?
Yeah, it's dramatic, and I think that our players have done a great job. I think our strength staff has done a great job. Deej takes all the credit for it, but the genetics had something to do with it too. Good moms and dads. But yeah, I think you look across the board, the amount of guys that run better times, the amount of guys that lift heavier weights, that have gained muscle mass and reduced body fat, all those things. And our strength staff has done great. The players have done great. I think recruiting has had an impact on that as well, all these things. And that's all part of the program development, which we're trying to do.
You have 15 opportunities to get better in the spring. Do you go in with a checklist of things that you hope to get out of spring practice? How do you approach things?
Well, it's not hope. We don't hope anything. We go out and we do things and work hard for it. But yeah, I think offensively, you know, you have those goals and objectives. Defensively, you have those goals and objectives, and the same thing on special teams. And then overall, big picture as well. You know, I want to make sure this spring ball we're structuring it a little bit differently, that it's much more competitive, offense versus defense, special teams, and just the fact that we have a legitimate two deep at almost every position now is completely different than what we've had in the past. I think that's going to make for much more spirited and competitive practices.
How does that help the team when you're so competitive in everything that you do? Well,
you know, we'd all love to be so driven and self-motivated that we don't need competition to get where we need to get, and whether that's individually or collectively. But human nature is you're going to work harder if there's a guy behind you working really hard and trying to take your job, and you know is a legitimate threat. You know, that's really, really important. And we want to create the most competitive environment, not only at each position, but also iron sharpens iron. That's the offense against the defensive line, offensive line versus defensive line. That's linebackers against running backs. That's tight ends against safeties. That's receivers against corners. So you're going to have the battles at each position, but you're also going to have battles across the ball. And the more good players that they're going against every single day and have to find ways to be successful, that's going to pay big dividends for us.
Finally, any position groups, anybody who has stood out during the winter that you're looking forward to seeing the tangible progress that they've made on the field?
Well, obviously the one that everybody is concerned about and looking forward to is offensive line, and I think we've made dramatic strides there. You guys have heard me say before, you really should not play on the offensive line until your redshirt sophomore year. Same thing, probably you can make the argument at defensive tackle. We still probably have way too many guys that are redshirt freshmen in the two deep. But we have a two deep this year. We didn't have that last year. And the fact that we got 5 to 6 guys with starting experience coming back when last year we only had 1, all those things are really, really valuable.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck this spring.
Thank you.